Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hey there. How's the sound? How's the video? Give me some feedback here. We're sounding okay? How's everybody doing? Hey, Lewis, Oren, how you doing? Is it Cram or Crom? Joseph, Danny, Krillis? Krill. Aim 'em and claim 'em smokers. How you doing? Robert. FPS Machete. All right. All right, give me some feedback. Is it sounding okay? Looking okay? How are we doing? All good? All right, great. Who else is in here? Wells Family Homesteads. Meow. I hope I'm getting that right. Craig Davis. Joseph. I think, no, Joseph, yeah, I already said hey to you. Everything sounds good? All right. How's everybody doing today? Saturday. Anybody cooking anything today? Anybody got anything going on the smoker or the grill? I'll tell you in a minute what I'm going to be doing later this afternoon, but what are you guys doing today? Hey, Carolina Country Cooking and Barbecue, how you doing? Let's see. Just stopping by before you got to run out? That's cool. I appreciate you stopping in. Where are we at here? Craig, great. Daniel, how are you doing? You're hungry. I'm a little hungry too. You know, I'm going to be, actually, I'll tell you now what I'm going to be making later today. If you've watched some of my videos for a while, about, I want to say a month ago, maybe it wasn't quite that long ago, I did a Doritos burger. Today I'm going to be doing Frito meatballs. So it's going to have Fritos inside the meatballs, a sauce with it, Fritos on top, cheese and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to doing that. It's going to be out on the Weber kettle and cast iron. I'm looking forward to that. See what everybody's doing here. Mark, how you doing? Lewis, I had foot surgery on Thursday. All is well. This is definitely the barbecue therapy I need. Yeah, man, I hope you feel better. I hope you can get out to the grill or something like that. Yeah, surgery's no fun. I've had a couple back surgeries over the past 20 years. Not fun. Yeah. Joseph, I wish we have rain on the way. You can smoke or grill in the rain. I mean, depends on what kind of rain, you know. It's not always fun. I've done it before. In California here, you know, we don't really get horrendous rains most of the time. So, you know, I've been standing out at the grill with a hat on and it pouring. You know, it happens. Let's see. What else we got going here? If I missed your question, sorry. I'll try and catch up here. Patrick Dahoney cooking tri-tip today. Tri-tip, my favorite thing to cook, man. Just love doing tri-tip. Aim 'em and claim 'em smokers got 4 briskets on the smoker now, doing a taste test with 4 different rubs. Man, I saw your video on the competition thing the other day. I left a comment. Man, I'm always surprised when I see those things how much gear is required for you guys to, you know, put on a competition cook. That was amazing, all those Traegers out there. That was awesome. If you guys haven't checked out James's channel, Aim 'em and claim 'em smokers, go do it. He does some great stuff. Oh, and then, James, I think I left a comment once. I really want to try that Fideo that you made. That looked really good, and I'd never, ever heard of it. So I'm going to try that Fideo pretty soon in the next month or so and try and do a video on it and see if I can get it looking as good as yours was, man. That was awesome. Doug, how are you doing? Good to see you. Eric Pratt, about to do first Weber rotisserie chicken. Should I do 2 sources of indirect heat or just one side? I prefer doing 2. You can do one side. My experience is it'll take a little longer, but with those like 2 briquette baskets or 2 piles of coal on the sides, it tends to cook quicker and you get, I believe, a little bit more of an even coloring. I wouldn't do anything directly underneath it, but yeah, one side will work, just it'll probably take a little bit longer. Let's see. Smeow, Rye, ever tried smoking seitan? Is it seitan? I'm not sure what that is. Hit me up in the comment there and let me know what that is. Todd. Hey, Todd, how are you doing? Where did you get that hat? You know, I don't remember. Where did I'm not sure where I got that hat. I'm not sure. NASA? No, I don't. I think I bought it online. Or did someone give it to me? I don't remember. FPS Machete. Aim 'em and claim 'em smokers. I'm so jelly at that capacity. Yeah, being able to put 4 briskets on a smoker, that's pretty nice. My Oklahoma Joe's Highland's not that big. You know, I'm not going to be able to do anything more than like 2 until I, you know, upgrade. But that's awesome. 4 briskets. Amo and Claimant Smokers, I think you'd enjoy it. If you're talking about the Fideo, that really looked good. And I love those sort of recipes that are, you know, handed down. I think you said, was it your mother or grandmother that made that? That just looked really good. And I always like being surprised by something that came out of nowhere. I'd never, ever heard of Fideo before. And then I started looking online after I saw your video. And it's like, oh, it's a thing. There's like little pasta things. So, yeah, I want to try that. Texas 2.5, how you doing? Howdy, Rye. If you have an entry-level camera recommendation for a young channel, I'd love to hear it. Outgrowing the smartphone quickly. My first videos were shot on my iPhone. I think my very first one for sure. I'm not 100% sure about the second or next few, but first one was iPhone only. I would recommend something like if you can swing it for, you know, I'm trying to think of, it depends on what you want to spend. My main camera is a Canon T7i, which I think you can get for probably, I want to say like $600 or less refurbished. Has good autofocus, good face tracking. I also use a Canon T5i for a second camera. I'll sometimes throw a GoPro in there to catch some, you know, B-roll, some other footage, stuff like that. I have another point and shoot that I'll throw on sometimes if I need more angles. But yeah, it's really just about what your budget is. You know, I like the Canon cameras with the dual pixel autofocus. That really is good for locking in on what you want to focus in on. The T7i, I think the T6i might have dual pixel. The T5i does not, I don't believe, but the T7i does. So I really enjoy that. Let's see, where are we at here? Amo and Clayman, the smoker I'm using can hold about 15 briskets. How big is that? Is that you're talking about? Is that a trailer smoker? That's huge. Derek Hodge, what's up, Rye? You should have more subscribers. Great vids. You've been here since you first started YouTube. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I've been doing YouTube videos now since I think March of 2017, so not quite a year and a half. So, hey, I'm happy with the subscriber growth. I mean, when I first started, you know, I was thinking, how long is it going to take me to get to 100 subs? And then 1,000. I think I had 1,000 in January. And then since January to now, you know, another 8,000 subscribers. It's been great. I mean, and I'm just loving it. I really love doing this. It's fun. Let's see. Amo and Claimant Smokers. So that Fideo recipe was from your mother. That's awesome. Recipes handed down are great. Dylan Lehman. Hey, great channel, by the way. Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate that. Chris Jarshow. Hey, what's up? How are you doing? Marsha, how are you doing? Good to see you. Yeah. You're in Wisconsin, if I remember correctly, right? Let's see. Amo and Claimant Smokers, 5 years in and you're still using your iPhone. If it works, it works. And man, it's funny to look back at the quality of some of the phones, you know, 5 years ago and to what you can get now. I mean, honestly, my iPhone, which is like a 7 Plus, technically shoots better video than my DSLR that I film my food videos in because it can do 4K. My DSLR doesn't do 4K. So it's just crazy how fast these things have progressed. Let's see. There we go here. Louis Calamatis, do you prefer St. Louis or baby backs? I personally prefer St. Louis. I like a little bit of a bigger rib. Amo and Claimant Smokers, I need to upgrade though. Yeah, you know, I need to add and fix a few things in my setup that are a little bit lacking just to improve. But man, I'm learning that really the best way to improve is just put out more content. That's what I'm trying to do. Really just focusing on the content, getting good videos out as often as I can. And I'm learning so much from it. Every video I put out, I learn from. It's just amazing. Cornelius Bass, howdy from Midland, Texas. Awesome videos, Rye. The family and I enjoy them very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And if you're out there and you're enjoying this live stream, please give it a thumbs up. It does help. YouTube likes to see that, and it lets me know you're enjoying this. Let's see. Texas 2.5. Thank you. Great info. I appreciate that. Oren, 4 briskets in one day. I'd go broke. Saying that to James. Yeah, briskets can be pricey. That's an investment. I've always said that a brisket is an investment not only in money but in time. To get it right, you know, generally you're spending a good amount of time. You know, I did that pork butt video that came out on Friday, and that was a 9.5 hour cook. I could have gone faster, could have done a little bit hot and fast, but I really wanted to keep it in that 250 middle range, and it really turned out nice. Let's see, Bottle Cap Barbecue. Hey, Rye, how you doing? Good to see you. Todd Hill, is there a specialty unique wood I want to smoke with? You know, I'm not sure. I've done, I mean, my favorite one that I've done recently that I've tried is that olive wood, which was amazing. But I'd kind of have to look. I mean, really, I picked the olive wood when I went into my supplier, and I kind of just looked around at what they had, and it's like, that looks interesting. I'll try that. So I think the next time I go in, I'm just going to look at their offerings and go, oh, that sounds interesting. I'll try that one this time. Let's see. We don't want to miss anything. Aim 'em and claim 'em. It's a 500-gallon smoker. That'll do it. That's a big one. Man, there was someone else on YouTube who, I'm trying to remember their channel. I think it was Mad Scientist Barbecue. I think he got a 500-gallon smoker within the past year. I think it's big. Nice, though. You can do a lot on that. Greg Langdon, what's your favorite meat to grill, both most fun and most delicious? Tri-tip for both. I'm a tri-tip guy. If I'm, tri-tip you can get done in 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes usually, with getting some smoke in it. It's not one of those pieces of meat that you're going to get a smoke ring just because the time investment isn't there. But it's flavorful. It's tender. If you can get tri-tip, I know it's difficult in some areas of the country. Out here in California, it's like chicken. You can get it just about anywhere. And it just takes a flavor profile from whatever you put on it so well. I love it. Let's see. FPS Machete. Guess I need to step up my penny saving game. Lol. You know what? You do with what you got. That's what I started out with. I didn't have a lot of stuff starting out, and I just did with what I had. Let's see. Where are we at here? Anyone claiming smokers? Oren, I told folks I'd cook the briskets for free if they bought them. I didn't buy the briskets. I got to do that. I've got to do that. And do you get sort of that pitmaster cut where you get sort of a little bit of the brisket? That would be awesome. Nice. That's very generous of you, though. Marsha Probst, Michigan, sings I got a gallon Kalamazoo. All right. Wisconsin. For some reason, I was thinking of Wisconsin. I'm close, My dad went to school in Michigan. Long time ago. Douglas Cox. Need some ideas for a cook today. Woke up really late, so the pork butt is for tomorrow. Is a chuck roast doable in 5 hours? Yes, but you're going to have to do it a little hotter. Chuck roasts, when I do them, usually are about a 7 to 8 hour cook. You got to think of it like a mini brisket. You can do it in 5 hours. I would up the temperature to somewhere between 275 and 300, and then make sure you wrap after about 2 to 3 hours. But really, time is not the measuring guide here. Watch my video today and you'll understand it's got to be temperature. You're going for tenderness with that chuck roast. You're taking it into the 190s to get sort of that brisket tenderness. Really 190 to 203. It's that same temperature range as brisket really to get tender. Let's see. If I'm missing your question, please apologize. Throw it back in if I miss it. Mark Pizzato, how well is the paint on your Oklahoma Joe holding up? I really enjoy what you do. Thank you very much. The firebox is shot, the paint. I'm going to be doing a video on taking rust off and repainting the firebox. The rest of it's holding up fine. No problem with it all. But I knew that firebox paint was going to burn off as soon as there was a fire in there. It's not high temp paint. Let's see. Text 2.5. My main problem is low volume on my chintzy smartphone. Perhaps I just need a mic before I think about a new camera. Audio is important. I agree with you. Work on a mic before a new camera. And shoot in little bits and offload it. Jens Helderveert, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Checking in from Belgium, and I love your channel. Looking forward to every new video. Some more Oklahoma Joe's videos are welcome. I'm a newbie in smoking. More Oklahoma Joe's are coming. Thank you. Eric Johansson, morning. I'm from the future. Sunday here already. 0210 hours now, but happy I've managed to stay up and catch the show. Thank you very much for staying up. Where are you at, Eric? Are you in Sweden? I thought someone said they were from Sweden in the last live chat. So if it's you, let me know. Mark Horner, love the vid with the olive wood. Yeah, that olive wood video with those short ribs, man, that was good. I used a little bit of the olive wood also in the smoked meatballs, which turned out really good. Retro Rob, nice. I didn't miss it this time. Glad you're here. Glad you didn't miss it. Louis Calamatis, have you ever catered for a small event, bigger event? No, I'm not indicatoring. That would never be something I do. I enjoy doing this for me and my family and friends who are around. I'm not built for that sort of thing or for competition. I'd like to do it at my own pace and for what I want to do. So I've had people ask me to cook for them, but it's really just about me. Retro, I can't find try out here in Rhode Island. Yeah, I've heard the same thing. William Logan, who's in the chat sometimes, said in Vermont he can get it, but he's butcher quoted him $16 a pound. I think he said. Crazy, way too expensive. Eric Pratt, Fruitwood has some unique wood choices. Love them. Yeah, I love using Fruitwood if that's what you're talking about, or is that a supplier, Fruitwood? My supplier has a lot of Fruitwood too. I just need to kind of pick in there and see what I want to try out next time. Thomas Linden, afternoon. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping in. Aim 'em and claim 'em smokers. I do get that pitmaster piece of whatever I'm cooking. Yeah, that's nice. Especially if you're cooking that many for people. You deserve a good little pitmaster slice for that. Maybe some of the point too. God, I love the point of brisket. Joseph Kerr, I'm from Michigan as well. Checking in from Michigan. Good. Retro Rob, think I'm smoking wings today. Nothing wrong with wings. Mark Peterson, hello from Southwest Michigan. Man, there's a Michigan crew in the house today. Love your videos. You helped make my first brisket complete success last Christmas. Thank you. I appreciate hearing that. You know, I've been learning this entire, time too. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've learned so much just in the past 2 or 3 years when I really started focusing on things, and especially tenderness and not hurrying. If you haven't watched my video today about the 3 T's of smoking, check it out. That really lays out some of the things I've learned and how I really approach every cook and what's really helped for me. Let's see. Wells Family Homestead. Been watching some vids about the sides using alcohol like Jack. Is there something else to use than alcohol to get the same flavor? It's weird when you're using an alcohol-based thing. The alcohol's supposed to burn off. I'll be honest, I do get some of the alcohol flavor in some things too, so I understand if you don't enjoy that or if you just don't want to use it. The closest thing I've found, and this may not work for you depending on what you're trying, is a thinned out syrup, like some maple syrup or some agave, something like that. That will work if you thin it out with some, warm water or something like that. But it's only a little close. That the flavor you get from Jack Daniels or something like that is rather unique. Let's see. FPS Machete. I'm on a 16-inch diameter, 36-inch long offset that's around 40 years old, leaks for days. You know what? I know people that cook on things that leak. They've got some rust on them. It's 100% not about the equipment. Method will overcome equipment almost every time. And the best equipment will not overcome bad cooking methods. So good equipment makes good, methods a lot easier, but it's really about the method. If you focus on the method, you can cook on just about anything. I cook probably about 70% of the stuff that I make on my Weber kettle. That is the most basic piece of equipment you can get, a charcoal kettle grill, which has been around for, 70 years or more, and you get amazing results on that. Let's see. Greg Langdon, thanks, Ryan. Love the pork belly burnt ends video. Looked amazing. They were amazing. If you get a chance to do some pork belly, even if it's not burnt ends, do it. But burnt ends, awesome way to present those. Brian Vstrom, hi Ryan. Nice seeing live stream number 5 this morning. Thanks. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming in. Oren, right. Tenderness is where I fail. Maybe go back to my roots. Tenderness takes time. And that's just something you got to kind of learn to balance. It's not a specific amount of time. It's the time that the meat demands. Temperature is a guide, to getting you there, just like time is. But if tenderness is what your determining factor is, like in brisket or pork butt or ribs, it's really when the meat tells you it's ready. Let's see. Lee Hadley, hello from Hotlanta. Hey, Lee, how are you doing? Hope you cooled down. We've cooled down a little bit. We're like in the mid-90s now, which is nice, but it's been a hot summer. And we got fires in the area, so we've got smoke, we've got ash. Yeah. Marsha Probst, olive wood smells awesome when wood turning. I remember you telling me about using olive wood for wood turning. I had no idea until you said that. I looked it up, and you're right. There's some beautiful pieces that people use olive wood for. Bottle Cap Barbecue, have you made use of an Amazon associate account or Amazon store? If so, does it work for you? I do. In the description of my videos, I have a link to my Amazon store and sometimes links to individual items. It does work for me, but here's the thing. I don't push it. In my videos, I used to say, oh, check out the links below for things like that. And it's not that there was anything wrong with that, but my view is that if you're presenting things that people feel might be useful, they will probably check out, what you have in your description. Occasionally, I will mention it if it's something specific, like, yeah, if you want to find this, Trader Joe's smoked South African seasoning, I'll put a link in the description below. I was surprised because people kept asking about that, so I ended up putting a link in the description. But it does work for me. Yeah, it does work, and I think it'll also allows people to find the things that you use. A lot of times people will message me or ask, hey, where can I find that table or that knife? And I can just say, oh, here's the link. Check out the Amazon store. You can check it out. If you can find it for less expensive somewhere, go for it, Let's see, where are we at here? Oren, 3 Rules Rocks. Thank you very much. Earl Ivy, hello from North Carolina. I love your videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cornelius Bass, what kind of rub do you like most on ribs? I like a sweet rub, one with a lot of brown sugar. I'll usually do a brown sugar, paprika, some garlic powder, and some pepper. But I mix it up. If I want some heat, I'll put some chipotle chili powder. I need like a special thing that explodes on screen when I pronounce chipotle correct, because I get called so often in videos for saying chipotle. So chipotle, I'll put that in there if I want some heat or something like that. But sweet rubs, definitely on ribs is my favorite. Let's see. Lewis, yes, I agree. Cooking too at your own pace is the best. I love the relaxed vibe you have when you're cooking. That's definitely how I prefer to cook. Yeah, I think the last thing I said in my 5 mistakes video was enjoy it. That's what really it's about. When I started out, I didn't really focus on enjoying things, and you got to enjoy it. Let's see, where are we at here? Douglas Cox, it ain't rust, it's patina. Don't make me repost my smoker video. Yeah, it's not rust, it's patina. I guess it's technically only rust if the rust becomes a hole. But yeah, you get a nice patina on old smokers. And man, there's some old smokers out there that, people have been smoking on for years that are just pure rust on the outside. But, they're 1/2 inch thick, so they're going to last for 1,000 years. Let's see. Lewis, foil will definitely help the tenderness, in my opinion. Yeah, if you're foiling or wrapping in some pink butcher paper, that does help when you're in that later stages of the cook to help tenderize the meat, add a little moisture. It also brings it along a little quicker. It holds in the heat. It helps that. But that does help in tenderness if you're having some issues both in the time and in the tenderness. Raspberry Rock, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thumbs up, everyone. Cheers. Thanks. It really helps. Appreciate it. Let's see. Lee Hadley, low 90s. It's the 50% humidity that gets you. Yeah, we haven't really hit the 50% humidity here. We've been like pushing 40, but that's still uncomfortable. Yeah, low 90s with 50% humidity is not fun. Steve Russell, checking in from Florida, grilling picana for the first time on my Argentine grill over all wood fire today. Nice. I really want to do some more grilling directly over all wood, but it's a little difficult in my area because of certain fire restrictions and stuff like that. I basically have to get that fire down to coals first, but that's nice. That's nice. James Delaney, when making ribs, they come out real tender and fall off the bone, but I have a hard time getting the meat to pull from the bone as it smokes. Any advice? I don't prefer meat that's falling off the bones. I like there to be some bite. So if you're getting it to where it falls off the bone, you might be taking it a little too far. You might be doing, especially if you're doing a 3-2-1 method, that 2 period in the foil or in the wrap might be going a little too long. So experiment with the amount of time you're doing if you're doing that 3-2-1, but also experiment with the amount of time you're leaving it on, because if that meat is really just falling off the bone, yeah, you're not going to be able to pick them up like ribs, and that's kind of the way I prefer it. Let's see, where are we at here? James Delaney, when making ribs. Oh, that was just you. Okay. No, wait. Make sure. Meat pull away from bone as it smokes. Any advice? One more thing about meat pulling away from the bones. You should see that, but it's not the 100% determining factor. The determining factor is the meat tenderness. So if you have like a temperature probe into the meat between those bones as you believe you're getting close to done. That'll tell you if you're meeting, very little resistance, your ribs are tender. FPS, Douglas Cox, you should see mine. Lol, I once had to use a leaf blower to get it started. I've seen people use leaf blowers to get big smokers started. That works. Oren, Rye, gotta teach my bride it's ready when it's ready. Yeah, it is. I've had to learn that myself. Impatience makes you want it now. I have to fight that every cook. When it smells good and looks good, got to give it time to get tender. Joseph Kerr, I bought a couple things that should have been from your store. I just picked them up the ThermoPro last weekend. No problem. That's no problem. I mean, I put the stuff there so people can find it. I do get a very small commission from things. It doesn't cost you any more if you end up doing it through the store. It does help, and I appreciate it. But if you end up getting it somewhere else, especially at a lower price, I'm fine with that. Raspberry Rock, Off-Grid Cabin, thank you for the super chat. That's going into the meat fund. Anyone that does a super chat, just so you know, it goes into the meat fund to keep buying meat to go in these smokers. I love your videos, Rye. Also, I'm still winning. Yes, you're still winning, but I will catch up, Russell. Jeff Shannon, hey, Rye from Stockton, California. Tri-tip's your favorite too. Yeah. Oh, love the tri-tip. Krill Svensson, do you have any old recipes from your Swedish relatives? I do. I'm going to be doing a video on my mom and dad's, well, it's my dad's Swedish potato sausage that was handed down from his family. They emigrated here from Sweden, I want to say in the 1850s. His grandfather was the first one that emigrated here from Sweden. So we'll be doing some Swedish potato sausage probably in the fall when it cools down a little bit. Splitty Booms, hey, just wanted to say I appreciate what you do on your channel. You make things simple for folks like me who are a little intimidated by the art of fire and meat. I was intimidated at the beginning too when I got my first electric smoker. The first things did not come out great. I just kept at it. I learned, I took my time, and not everything comes out perfect now, but generally I have to say I can deliver a good, piece of meat or chicken, whatever it is, just because I've kind of learned those basics now over time. And it becomes more natural. So you'll get there. It just takes time. Let's see. Bram Helenix, how are you doing? Hi, Ryan. I'm enjoying your videos from Belgium. Just bought an offset smoker. Nice. I'm a complete noob. I'm a little confused sometimes. Do I crank up the heat by more charcoal or by wood? If you have access to wood, wood is preferred. If you need to use charcoal, I personally have no problem using charcoal to crank up the heat. Really though, check your airflow. Are you getting a good enough airflow in there to get wood burning hotter? That's one of the things to check. Make sure your vent stack is completely open so you get good airflow out, and try it that way first. But if you need to up the heat, wood chunks, you can make them smaller if you think a big piece of wood is going to be too much heat, or more charcoal. Yeah, just make sure you clean ash out of that firebox. I have, in some of my videos using the offset, you'll see how sometimes I have to clean ash out during the middle of a cook. That's what happens. So you just have to be careful. Where are we at here? Randy, just bought the Oklahoma Joe's Highland Smoker. What would be a good meat to smoke first? I'd go for some ribs. Ribs are sort of universal. Get yourself a good rack of baby backs or spare ribs or St. Louis cut. Watch some videos, mine and other people on, doing ribs on the offset, and go for it. Just follow the methods, watch your temperatures, and you'll probably end up with some pretty good ribs. But your first time, don't expect perfection. If you get it, great. Enjoy it. Lewis, enjoying is what you do is definitely important. You really can tell your passion for barbecue in your videos. It's great. Well, I'll keep it up. Thank you. I plan to keep it up. I enjoy doing this so much. In just a minute, I'm going to go through the rest of these questions, and in a few minutes, I'm going to bring up some things, show some pictures on screen that people submitted. Last live stream, I said, hey, send me some pictures of things you've cooked to my Facebook page and private message me on Facebook, and just say, hey, it's okay to use this on YouTube, and I'll show them on my live stream. And we had people submit things, some pretty good pictures. So again, if you want me to feature some of your pictures of things you've cooked, go to my Cooking with Rye Facebook page. The link is right here on the screen somewhere. And it's not really a link, but you can type it in. Or it's in the description of most of my videos. Go there, use the private message function, send me a photo of something you've cooked, and make sure you put the message there that you give me permission to use it on the YouTube live stream or on YouTube, and I might be able to show it. So let's see. Let me get a couple more questions here. Chris Jarshow would love to see you do a video of cooking bone-in chicken breasts on your Weber kettle. I will do that. That's actually, I've do that many times, not on video, but that's the same thing. Chicken, one of the things on the Weber kettle, some people, they just throw it over charcoal and, you know, incinerate it. I love doing indirect on chicken. Get a little color on it using a direct method and then move it indirect just like an oven. Yeah. Or an adjust the 3-2-1, no firm rules. That's right. It can be 3-1-2. It can be 3-1-1. Baby backs, oftentimes I'll do a 2-2-1. They just end up cooking quicker. You got to learn to play with it. Mark Horner, 3-1.51. Lol. Right. Yeah. You got to get what works. Raspberry Rock. Yeah, I guess it gets expensive doing all these meat videos. By the way, you should do Alaskan king crab sometime. I was actually looking at doing a smoked crab video. I saw someone do that, and it looked really good, but I wanted to come up with sort of a twist on it. So definitely, that's a good suggestion. Jackadilly, channels like yours really help the learning curve. Thank you. That's what I set out to do when I was doing this, starting this channel, is I watched so many videos of people like Smoky Ribs Barbecue and Southern Cuisine, Aim'em and Claim'em Smokers, James, who's been in the chat, Troy at T-Roy Cooks, Greg at Ballistic Barbecue, Malcolm Reed, How to Barbecue Right. And I'm missing some, but I've watched so many of their videos before I ever started my channel to try and learn. So yeah, I appreciate that. I really like being able to help. Let's see. Doug Cox. My smoker's an old new Braunfels. All right. It has the patina off an old pocket battleship. Rye always gives us rust bucket owners a hard time. I got rust on my Oklahoma Joe's, so when you see that in a video, you can give me a hard time, but it's there, definitely. Yeah. FPS Machete. I wish I could link you that video of me starting that thing. Mine's got a patina of a fossil. Ain't nothing wrong with fossils. You know, I'm getting up there in years. Some people are going to start calling me a fossil pretty soon. Splitty Booms. How do you personally approach grill cleaning when you have long gaps between cooks? I feel I may go overboard with scrubbing and buckets and sponges. If you're talking about the cooking grate, I just heat it up or scrub it down with my coiled brush. Every once in a while, I honestly, and this may be wasteful, I'll just replace the grill. You know, they're like 20, 25 bucks for, you know, the grills from Weber with the flip up wings on them. And if it gets so dirty that I just can't get it, I'll usually swap that grill out and put it over on my fire pit for cooking and then toss that grill. I know I could spend hours and hours taking it back to almost original, but I really don't need to do that. I don't want to do that. I'd rather spend it cooking. But generally my grills last about, or my grill grates last about a year, year and a half. And because I cook on them a lot. I mean, I'm cooking on my Weber 4 times a week, sometimes 5. So yeah, I mean, you can go through grill grates. Let's see. Splitty Booms, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. That's going into the Meat Fund. I need a Meat Fund graphic and explosion sound that'll go off when someone donates to the Meat Fund. Yeah, appreciate that, Splitty Booms. Bottle Cat Barbecue. So I did your idea with the bratwurst burger. Tasted awesome, but found the meat a little tough. I think the sausage meat gets too worked and compacted. That is something you have to be careful of if you've got a really compact bratwurst that you're using, is not to compact that meat anymore, because it may, like you said, be already compacted. You can loosen it up a little bit, and even if you want to, you can mix it with a little ground pork that may not be as compacted. But yeah, those bratwurst burgers, oh, that was so good. Raspberry Rock. I stopped cleaning after my bristle incident. I've got another brush on order. Yeah, you got to be careful of the bristles. I did a video on that if you haven't seen it. My friend Russell at Raspberry Rock, he was one of the ones that sort of really pushed me to do that video. Or he didn't tell me to. I wanted to do it after I heard about his incident. So yeah. All right, so I'm going to show some photos now. So let me switch over here so we can get to our viewer slides. And let me see. All right. Is everyone seeing that okay? Give me a answer in the chat here so I know you're seeing this first photo here. Let me see. Everybody see that? Give me some feedback here. Do you see Thor Gunderson's brisket? Everybody seeing that? I want to make sure we're live here on the photos. Can you see the photo? Let's see. Still looking here. Somebody in the chat, tell me if you're seeing this brisket or I'm going to keep moving. All right, here we go. This is a photo of a brisket that Thor Gunderson sent in, and it's looking really good. It's looking like it's got some nice bark on there. It looks like he got this photo mid-smoke, and that looks like it's going to be some tasty brisket. Yeah, and he sent in another photo. Let me move on to here. Oh, wait, this is from Joe and Becca Garza, some dino ribs. Look at the pullback on the meat on those bones. That looks really, really nice. I have a hard time getting big ribs like that here in my area at a reasonable price. You know, I'm going to have to spend the meat fund on some of these because they're just outrageous for some reason. We just do not have suppliers here that get these big ribs all the time. But yeah, that looks really nice. Nice color on those. Woo. Let's move on. Joe and Becca Garza, also dino ribs while they're cooking with some molejas. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. Molejas. And that looks nice. It looks like they're doing that maybe on their offset. Really good looking there. All right, let's move on here. Oh, Lee Hadley, a whole pig. Now, I'm not sure. I think this might be on an Oklahoma Joe's Highlander Longhorn. I'm not 100% sure. I think Lee said that. I don't think Lee's in. Oh, Lee, is that in there? Lee, is that on an Oklahoma Joe's Highland or a Longhorn, or what kind of smoker is that? Hit it up in the chat there, because that's a beautiful looking pig. I am so looking forward to doing a whole pig. That just, look at the skin on that. That just looks gorgeous. Oh, man. Look at that. Man, all right, let's move on from the pig here. Now, these are some ribs that Thor did also. He didn't say in the message, he might have, and I might have missed it, but I think, I'm not sure if those are baby backs or some St. Louis cut. If I had to guess, I'd say those are St. Louis cut. Those are looking really good. Nice color on them. Good pull away on the bones there. Oh, those, I would not mind eating those at all. Those are looking good. But I gotta, oh man, I gotta go back up to that pig. So Lee says that's on the Longhorn. Look at that. Lee, how did you say in the chat, how big is that? How many pounds? That's, is that like a 50 pounder? That's looking really good. Oh man. I'm so looking forward to doing a pig. I know I can't fit a 50 pounder on my Highland. I think I could probably fit a 25 to 30 if I looked correctly at what some of the size choices are for where I can source a pig. But look at that. That is beautiful. Oh. All right, we're going to leave it with the pig, man, and come back to our main screen here. All right. So, yeah, so if you have any photos you want to have featured on the live stream, send them to me through private message on my Facebook page, Cooking with Rye. It's Cooking with Ryan, because someone already had Cooking with Rye, so I had to use my full spelling of my first name on that for the Facebook page. Send it to me with private message. Say, hey, it's okay to use this on YouTube, and we'll get it up here on a future live stream, hopefully. But yeah, so let's see. Let me see if I missed anything here in the chat. Let's see. So Lee, okay, Lee says that was a 52-pound pig. That is nice. How long did that take to do, Lee? Because that, I don't know. There's just something about wanting to do that whole animal. About the only other whole, animal you can do is a turkey or a chicken or something like that. And the idea of doing that pig is just amazing. I really want to do that. Let's see. Did I miss anything in there? Excuse me. Time for a sip. Let's see. So, also wanted to mention, it was funny. I've never cooked. In fact, I've had a lot of people send me messages or comment in videos like, hey, why don't you ever use a slow and sear? Why don't you use a slow and sear? Well, I didn't have a slow and sear. And then so last week, David from Adrenaline Barbecue emailed me. Someone had sent him an email, and he said, hey, you want a slow and sear? I said, well, okay, there've been like 1,000 videos done on slow and sear and what you can do with it. So I'd be happy to try it out, but as long as you don't mind if I do something different. And he said, yeah, go for it. So the Slow and Sear arrived yesterday. I'm going to, you know, try and do something different with it. I've never used it before. I mean, I've seen tons of people use them. And the concept is very similar to using, you know, briquette baskets or the Vortex, things like that in the Weber kettle. I want to try and actually see if I can push it to what he said and what the literature says some of the limits are. So that'll be fun. But I will be using the Slow and Sear maybe next weekend. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe next weekend in a video. So watch out for that. But that was nice of him to send that so I can check it out. Let's see. Louis Colamadas. I believe I saw beef chuck ribs at a restaurant depot for $4.29 a pound. Beef chuck ribs. I don't know if I've ever seen beef chuck ribs. I might have. $4.29 a pound is not a bad price, though, for something like that. I would grab those if I saw that price. Oren Rye, try a 25-pound or a 12-week one still on sow milk. That's what I've heard. The age, I think it's the age that you said, 25-pound to 30-pound is about optimum for sort of the suckling pig. Is what I've heard, if I'm remembering correctly. Lee Hadley, prep time and rest time and cook time totaled 14 hours. Okay, you know, that's actually a lot more reasonable than I thought. That's like a brisket, really. But I would imagine there's a little more in the prep for this than the brisket, or obviously a lot of seasoning, I'm guessing. What sort of seasoning do you use when you're doing a whole pig? I'm assuming there's a lot of choices you have, and people have their own, you know, favorites, but I'd be curious to know what you used when you're seasoning there. Jameson Jones, hey, Rye, just watched your ribs video. I'm cooking ribs tomorrow. Any good? What kind of wood pellets would you recommend? I have mesquite, pecan, and hickory. Hickory's my favorite. Pecan goes great with ribs. Are you talking about pork ribs? Let's see. I just want to see if it's pork ribs. Yeah, definitely pecan or hickory. You could mix up some pecan and hickory too. Mesquite, my personal preference, is not for pork ribs. I would use some mesquite if I was doing beef ribs, but I'd be careful on it. But yeah, pork ribs. I love hickory on pork ribs. Wells Family Homestead, finally back. Storm power outage. Oh, okay. Yeah, we've been fortunate this year with the heat. We haven't had any outages where I live, and now that I've said that, the live stream's going to die now with a power outage, I know. But occasionally we would get them in high heat because of the load demands. But yeah, nothing. Louis Colamadas, lol, that's why they were labeled. They were basically Dunno ribs. I'll send you a picture of them when you did them last year. Yeah, do that. I'd like to see those. If you send it in Facebook, let me know if I can use that. I'd love to use that picture. I love seeing pictures of what people have cooked. It's fun. It's one of the things I love watching the videos of what people do, because those trying to like match what they've done is sometimes a challenge, but I like that, especially the colors you get when you're doing things like burn ends or pork butt and stuff like that. The colors are just so beautiful. Let's see, Jameson Jones. Any tips? Yeah, if what I just said about, you know, the ribs, yeah, pork, baby back, I would recommend hickory or pecan or a mix of those two. And the tip on those are just let it have the time. If it's your first time, let's see, did you say, I don't know if you said it's your first time, but baby backs, I would try a 3-2-1 method, but you're not going to probably go the 3-2-1. You might want to do a 2-2-1, and just be careful of them getting too tender and falling apart if you don't like that. So once you take them out of that two part, the foil or the paper wrap, check them, probe them for tenderness, and sort of gauge it so you don't have them too tender unless that's what you like. Some people like it where they pick up the rack and the meat just falls off and they put the meat on a plate and eat it that way. Pickles Barbecue. Love the pulled pork Southwest version. Yeah, that turned out really good. In fact, I had some again last night. I'm having some again tonight. Going to fry it up and make some carnitas tacos, I think. My wife does that. It's awesome. It was just wanted to do something a little different than just, you know, the barbecue profile with a barbecue sauce for pulled pork sandwiches or, you know, a vinegar sauce for pulled pork sandwiches. Wanted to try something a little different, and that's what's fun about this. Yeah. Dino ribs. I kind of figured that's what you're saying. But Dunno ribs, who knows? Come up with something for that. Dunno ribs. Jameson Jones. Yeah, pork baby backs. You'll do fine. Just give them the time they need and watch them. And pecan hickory mix would be good, or straight hickory, or straight pecan. Sometimes you gotta try things and see what your favorite flavor profile is from the wood. I know my favorite flavor profile is hickory on pork ribs because I've done it so many times. Let's see. Oren. Cherry wood is great on pork, and turkey to flavor. I've heard that, you know, I've used cherry a couple times. Hickory's still my favorite. Nothing wrong with hickory. It's good. All right. Thanks, right. You're very welcome, Jameson. Very welcome. Wells Family Homestead. What do you do with pork neck bones? I've never used pork neck bones. I think someone asked this previously. It might have been you. I'm not sure. I've never used them. I assume that they are something that you would have to do a little bit low and slow, similar to a pork butt, because pork butt is, you know, pork shoulder. So you're getting close to the neck there, and I'm assuming you're going to have some similar tissues and some similar, you know, muscle structure. Probably not quite as tough, but I would try them, you know, smoking low and slow. I would start at probably about 4 hours and test and see what you're getting there in tenderness and taste if you've never done them. But I've never done them. In fact, I don't even think I've seen pork neck bones available in the butcher shop and things like that. Some places will have a lot more choice of the animal. Others really focus on what people want, so they don't carry a lot of those things. Or if they do carry them, they're gone in a flash. Around here, oxtail is hard to get because people come in early in the morning on Saturdays when the oxtail is available and buy it up and use it. So when I had that oxtail I used in a video a couple months back with the beef short ribs, I had to go in the morning and get them because they were running out. Yeah, let's see. Or in Bottle Cap Barbecue. So a lot of channels have done comparisons between select, choice, prime brisket, but do you think the grade changes the results when turning brisket into corned beef or pastrami? I think you're going to have less of a factor with that, but you're definitely going to notice a difference if you go all the way down and all the way up. If you're doing a prime, yeah, you're going to notice a difference, but honestly, I would not use prime for something like, you know, corned beef or pastrami. I would use a lower cut. Prime brisket, you know, just calls to be smoked. I would not use it for that, you know, personally. Louis Colomato's got to run for now. Take care. Thank you very much. Appreciate you stopping in. That was awesome of you to come in today. Let's see. Where are we at here? Wells Family Home. Sorry it was you. That's all right. I don't remember every person who asked which question, but yeah, I would try the pork neck bones like that to try. I don't have any experience personally doing them. And honestly, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do pork neck bones on a video. There probably is. There's videos on everything. So I would do a search and see what people are doing on YouTube with that. But if someone gave them to me, that's what I would try. I would smoke them low for about 4 hours to try and see what that hits in terms of tenderness and taste. Let's see. Lee Hadley, covered in olive oil. This is for your pig. Covered in olive oil, injected 24 times, 4 on each shoulder, 4 each ham, 4 each loin. Injection was 50-50 apple juice and cider vinegar. Nice. Rubbed inside with AP rub and bone sucking. That sounds so good. Oh, that sounds really good. But yeah, like that's a lot of preparation, you know, more than a brisket, obviously. I'm sure some people have done a lot to briskets, but that's a lot of preparation. But it looks like you've got great results, man. That was a beautiful pig, that color. I know that's not the meat side, but man, that looked beautiful. Mark Horner, what wood would I prefer on a leg of lamb? I would prefer a milder wood, a pecan or something like that, but I am definitely wanting to do a leg of lamb with that olive wood that I've got because that olive wood was so good on the beef, and I had some recommendations of people to try it on lamb or goat, so I definitely want to get some leg of lamb and try some olive wood. But lamb to me has such a great flavor in itself, and especially with the spices you're going to add on a rub, things like that, that I don't want to overpower it with smoke. So I would go with a milder wood, maybe a light fruit wood, some apple, but some pecan would be good. But again, that's another thing that you're going to have to experiment with to see what you really like. I'm sure there are people out there that do lamb with a really intense flavor profile of smoke. With the olive, now the olive does have a very intense flavor, so I would want to be careful not doing too much olive with the leg of lamb. But it was amazing on those ribs with the smoke penetration. So I love the flavor of lamb. I wouldn't want to overpower it. Pickles Barbecue, not a mucho, just procrastinating on editing. Yeah, well, I procrastinate on editing some things too. Yeah. Especially when you know it's going to be a long edit. The other night on that pork butt video, it was already all uploaded night before. I messed it up. Went to add end screens on that video and I didn't process it right. Had to go back in, had to delete that, go back in, change it, re-render it, re-upload it, and that was a long video. It took almost an hour to upload the next morning, so it happens. So procrastinating on editing sometimes, like, yeah, I really don't want to do it right now, but got to do it. Let's see. Only Chevy, can you do some more Southwestern barbecue? I live in the Southeast. I'm going to do your last pork butt one. Yeah, definitely. Southwestern flavor profiles are really nice. And it was interesting. I was originally thinking I'm going to call that, Mexican pork butt. But there's really a difference from Mexican seasonings and sort of Southwestern U.S. There's definite influences, but you're going to find a lot more variety. Some of the Mexican flavor profiles are very simple, but they are awesome. They're right on point with the cuts of meat, especially when you're talking about things like, people don't eat it much around here, is goat. I love goat. And the flavor profiles you get when you're getting that done straight with Mexican seasonings that they would use in Mexico, awesome. But yeah, definitely more Southwestern I want to do. Bottle Cap Barbecue, same here. Got 2 vids on the table. Look out for Taco Tuesday release. I will. I did a Taco Monday, I think, not that long ago. Or actually, no, I put up a picture on my Instagram thing of tacos on Monday, called it Taco Monday. Yeah. Pickles Barbecue, will do. I just did my rib candy yesterday. Oh, I've never done rib candy. Never done it. I've seen people do it, but I've never done it. Mark Horner, makes sense, thanks. Yeah, and if sometimes, you just want to try those less is more for smoke. Especially on the first time, especially with lamb, because I don't know, just to me, lamb is such a wonderful piece of meat. And around here, it's a little more expensive, so I wouldn't want to like overdo it the first time. I'd be more concerned on lamb with getting the doneness and the tenderness right than I would on the smoke. I'd rather go light on the smoke and get that tenderness right. Let's see. Pickles Barbecue, you're far better editor than me. You know what? I don't know that I'm better. I've got, what, 160 something videos I've done now in a year and a half. I'm trying to do 4 videos a week. So I'm doing a lot. I'm learning a lot as I go along. And I'm watching a lot of other people that edit their videos and trying to learn from them. I watch people who don't do, barbecue videos at all. I watch Casey Neistat. I watch Peter McKinnon, Matty Hapoja. I watch a lot of people and just try and see how they edit videos and things they do. I've learned about things like color correcting from watching Peter McKinnon and Matty Hapoja. So that's something I try and focus on more and more as I'm doing video, is make the video look and sound as good as I can. I have some plans for upgrading some equipment in the future, some different sound equipment. My sound is fine, but I need better backup sound equipment, because if you've ever done a video and had the sound, the in-camera sound that's running through a wireless microphone go bad on you, you're dead in the water unless you've had a backup sound. And so I run 2 recorders, and I just need a little more convenient second backup recorder. I'm running off a Zoom right now, which is fine, but there's a better Zoom recorder that I'm running. But yeah, sound, lighting, working on some new things. Let's see. Just did your, where are we at here? Right. This is from Bottle Cap. What editor do you use? No, I use Adobe Premiere Pro Creative Cloud. It's the subscription. So basically I have every Adobe product. I think it's every Adobe product, access to it. I think it's like, price just went up. I think it's like $52 a month. It's a subscription service, but you have access to everything, Premiere, Lightroom, Photoshop, After Effects, Audition for sound, everything that they have. Plus you have access to the type key font library. So it's an investment, if in your channel, if you're doing things, but I consider a lot of things to be investments in my channel. I'm basically anything I'm earning from my channel now, whether it's, ad revenue through YouTube or affiliate income through Amazon, just about everything is going back into it, whether it's, purchasing the meat or equipment or, website things for domains, for, the subscriptions for things like that. So it does cost money, but I want my channel to develop and grow and get better, and hopefully investing in equipment and, meat and the things I need for that will help that. Let's see. Wells Family Homestead. What is rib candy? Yeah, who's doing the rib candy here? Pickles. Can you drop an explanation in the chat for what rib candy is? I can't explain it very well because I've never made it, so if you could do that. Earl Ivy. People in the South use pork neck bones for seasoning veggies, hardly any meat on them. Okay. That's I didn't know that. It sounds like it's something more like a, is it like a, not an oxtail, but the equivalent thing where you use it in other things to get seasoning and flavor and some of the meat? Lee Hadley. I don't know if you remember me talking about being a meat district manager in Georgia, but just to give you an option, we sell our short ribs for $6.28 a pound. Just had one of my guys send me a pic of it. Oh, do you guys do mail order? Do you guys do mail order on your ribs? Because or shipping? Because that would be awesome. About the only place, I mean, I can get short ribs here. They're just crazy expensive. So it really would depend on, you know, shipping and all that stuff and timing. Some places that I can source things and have them overnight shipped, you have to do it on certain days of the week. And you have to plan, because I really wouldn't want to get something that's fresh and then freeze it for a cook. I'd have to time it on the day I'm going to do a cook. But yeah, I'd like to hear about that. Message me on Facebook if you can hit me up on Facebook and send me a private message about any of the information. I'd love to know. Raspberry Rock, I've done videos and I didn't notice the batteries were dead in my mic. I remember the video I did, I can't remember which one it was, where I made myself eat the jalapeno. I forgot to turn on my mic. You know, especially when you're a one-person show, it's easy to make little mistakes. And a video not too long ago, I think it was about a week ago, I forgot to turn my second microphone on. So I use two cameras sometimes and they sync in Adobe Premiere. It's called multicam. And without sound from this one, it can't sync to this one. So I had to use my backup audio. That was not fun having to sync that backup audio to the video. It's doable, but it took a lot of time. So yeah, Russell, you're very right. You're a one-guy show. You know, my wife helps out a lot of the time now, but it can still, yeah, make mistakes. Pickles Barbecue. This is the candy rib sauce challenge. Make your own sauce with the candy or something close. Interesting. Oh. Lee Hadley, 4 rib plates, 7 pounds for $45. Not sure what shipping would be, but just let me know if you have an option. Yeah, I'd have to check it out and see what my sourcing is here and what in person is here. 4 rib plates. Okay, yeah. That was if Smoky Ribs Southern Barbecue, Smoky Ribs Southern Cuisine, Smoky Ribs Barbecue and Southern Cuisine. I always get his channel backwards. He did those beef plate ribs, I think, last couple of weeks ago when he did that nice shout out for me. Those looked really good. So I'd love to do something like that. Let's see. Splitty Booms at Earl Ivy can definitely confirm that my grandma put them in collard greens. Is that for the pork neck bones? That's nice. I love collard greens. I love collard greens. Marsha Probst. Alex Steele, a young blacksmith, has some awesome videos. Very dynamic. Cool. Yeah, I love watching some of the guys who are doing other things, and they just have amazing video skills. I don't know how they learn it, but they're just amazing. Far beyond what I could do. I mean, if you watch some of Baby Back Maniac's videos, he's got some great, especially his cooking videos. I wish he did more videos because his cooking videos are really good. Great video quality on them. Let's see. Pickles Barbecue. Well, as soon as I stop procrastinating, I'll finish it up in post. That'd be cool. Let's see. Earl Ivy. Yes, it's used more like ham hocks that are smoked. Okay, that makes sense. The idea. Greg Langdon, address the wooden duck behind me, please. The wooden duck. The wooden duck. The wooden duck was a birthday gift from a friend long ago. I have no idea what the significance was other than just it was a cool looking duck in a thrift shop. And, you know, it's kind of cool. You know, it's a solid little duck. You know, someone carved it and painted it, and I'm sure it's not a decoy. I think it would just go, you know, bottoms up in the drink. But yeah, it's a cool little duck. That's the story of the duck. It's like it sits right in front of my Gumby back there. Yeah. Let's see, where are we at here? Pickles Barbecue. You might bottle cap and maybe Rye might challenge y'all. I'd have to learn how to do these things. I've never made rib candy. Yeah. Yeah, that's regarding the neck bones, spleen bones. Yeah, okay, I get that now. That would be good in collard greens. I've never thought of that. Getting like that. I've seen people use like bacon and things like that in collard greens, but now that you talk about it, using something like pork neck bones, if that's what they're good for, that would be awesome. Doug Cox, more LSD-induced dream sequences. Attack of the Killer Baby Backs. You want me to do those? Okay, I can definitely manage that. Let's see. We're getting close to an hour here, so I'm going to sort of answer any last questions and then got to kind of jet out of here. Mark Horner, they're great beef plate bones. Had to try. Not cheap here. Oh, yeah, I mean, when Smoky Ribs, Russ Jones did those, they were awesome looking. Just really good. Wells Family Homestead. My son and I love to gnaw on pork neck bones. Same with the dog. We're in the South, but I'm from Pacific Northwest, so still learning the South. Yeah, I mean, great Southern food. You know, I'm not from the South. My family on my side's all from, you know, upper Midwest, Minnesota and North Dakota area. So I had a lot of that sort of farm cooking growing up. That my mom grew up on and just sort of transferred. You know, I was born in California. They moved here in the early 60s. So, yeah, I had the transferred Midwest cooking, but she was a good cook. Yeah. Or that duck looks like a mallard. Could be. I'm not really a duck expert. Got to cook some duck, though, pretty soon. Yeah. Pickles Barbecue. I've never made it before. You up for the challenge? I'd have to look at it and see, you know. And I also have, it's funny, I have a video schedule, you know, going out probably 5 weeks, you know, that I try and get ahead of time. And it's really just timing to get videos in with work. You know, I have to get work done too, you know, the bill paying, writing and stuff like that. And also kind of looking like what I've already done and is there something I want to redo in a different way. But I'd look at a rib candy thing and see if I could get it. Yeah. All right, guys. So I'm going to have to sort of head out of here. And I sure appreciate everybody stopping in. Give it a thumbs up if you can before you leave. That does help. If you have any pictures, like I said, that you want me to show of any of the food you've cooked, go over to my Facebook page, Cooking with Ryan, and message it to me and say in the message also, you know, it's okay to use that photo in the live stream, and maybe I'll get it up here in a live stream next week or week after. And I sure appreciate it, everybody. Thank you for watching all the videos. If you haven't checked out my 3 T's of smoking video from today, please check it out, or the pork butt video from yesterday. I just really appreciate everybody's watching and giving comments and thumbs up and likes and everything. It's just awesome. So thank you, everybody. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you again soon.